What's the good word, everybody? DKB here, and we have what I would consider to be the most critical game of our season with the early success that we've seen so far. And this is due to the New England Patriots rolling into town. And now, somebody that I've kind of reviewed before, but is turned back around with some interesting comments, is Joe Benigno, who joined the Tiki and Tierney show recently to discuss this matchup and Zach Wilson, among some other things. But what stood out to me and kind of what I wanted to review and discuss is that he mentioned, due to the history and the nature of this New England Patriots rivalry, which hasn't really been a rivalry, they've been steamrolling us, but we'll get into that in a minute. He said that if we lose at home, then we just took 3 steps back. And I wholeheartedly could not agree anymore. I mean, with the, again, and it's undue, I don't want to say undue, unfound success. There was nothing that basically said we would have started out as hot as we've done so far, and in the manner that we've done it. I think a lot of us would have expected early on that if we did see some kind of success like we're seeing now, it would have been on the back of our receiving game after seeing how we wholeheartedly changed our offense, revamped the entire tight end room. We were expecting a top half offensive line throughout the NFL. And then we take a look at our receiving core. We had Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, everybody thought was going to have a breakout. Corey Davis may not be a number one to anybody, but we know that he brings explosive plays as a number two. Braxton Berrios, who's very productive within the offense and what we ask him to do. So there were a lot of pieces and a lot to get excited about, let alone I haven't even talked about Michael Carter, who's one of the best underrated running backs last year, and then Breece Hall, who everybody thought could have been a stalwart, but I don't know if we even expected him to be as critical to the offense as he's been earlier on. So what about this matchup means that we're going to take so many steps back if we don't happen to win? It's more so than just about stats and kind of what's been going on. To me, this is more about the mental side of everything. When we take a look at this New England Patriots rivalry, we have been absolutely mollywopped. I mean, we've the highlighted stat that's going to be out there all week is that we have lost 12 straight games to the Patriots. That is literally over 6 years worth of L's that we've taken back to back to back. We're talking sweeps here. There's been no ties, nothing close. The average margin of victory by the Patriots is, I think it was 20.3 points per game, which is absolutely nuts. Where they put a couple 50 burgers up on us within the last few years. And so Robert Saleh kind of got his first taste of this last year, and there wasn't a whole lot that we can do about this against any teams, but it's always worse in division. And now that we've been seeing the success that we had so far, granted injuries have taken place and everything, it hurts that much more to think that we may once again suffer the Bill Belichick curse within our own division. But there's a turning point. For one, this team is so young. It's built on the back of basically 2 drafts and some key free agents. The 2021 draft, our most recent 2022 draft, the rookies have been extremely productive, developing what I would say ahead of schedule for a lot of people across the league. And that means that a lot of them have only witnessed the 2 sweeps, not the 2 sweeps, but the 2 losses that we took last year. The only players that legitimately have experienced the suffering of what the fan base has really gone through year in and year out would be like a Braxton Berrios. It would be, trying to think who else is on the list. CJ Mosley. Really, everybody else is new. I mean, Whitehead wasn't here for it. Joyner wasn't here for it. Ashton Davis is still new. DJ Reed wasn't here for it. Sauce Gardner just got drafted, so he hasn't even experienced any L's. CJ, of course, as we mentioned, Quan wasn't here. Jamian Sherwood feels the pain a little bit. Quinnen Williams, that's really about it. On the offensive side, everybody's essentially new there as well, minus Berrios. So we really don't have this cloud hanging over our head like we think we do. The fan base is going to feel it, but the New York Jets, this version of the New York Jets, has none of those memories and nothing really tying them down to feeling like they're the underdogs in this case. Um, there's also the injury conversation. Yes, we have a lot going on, right? Elijah Vera Tucker goes down. Our engine, Brees Hall, goes down. We're dealing with Corey Davis's knee. We have Elijah Moore's trade request. We have Denzel Mims' trade request. We still have a bunch of other nicks and bruises. We're waiting for George Fant news. We're waiting to see what will happen with Max Mitchell next week. It's a lot, but it's not like the Patriots aren't going through their own struggles as well, right? So this will be the battle of a atrocity essentially. Who can overcome this? And we've already seen that the New York Jets can struggle through a lot of these issues that they're facing. Multiple penalties last week. I think we had 11 against the Broncos, and all kind of boneheaded mistakes, illegal formations, false starts. We were holding. It was pretty nuts. We suffered all those injuries last week. AVT goes down early in the game. Brees Hall goes down early in the game. Zach Wilson, who has not been playing, according to who you talk to, anywhere close to a superstar, but even average quarterback play. He's been mitigated to the lowest ranks of the game manager world that you can think of, even struggling to get to 125 yards a game, not throwing any kind of touchdowns. We'll hear all of the highlights or low lights, I should say, about Zach Wilson and his production. The wide receivers being agitated, that they're not getting fed the ball enough, yada, yada, yada. But the Patriots have their own struggles. They have a quarterback situation, battle, if you want to call it that, on their hands for the first time in a long time. And that's been cleared up a little bit today. It looks like Mac Jones has taken 90%, as the reports say anyways, of the first snaps during practices so far. And it looks like he should be the starting quarterback against us. But we've seen as of last week, regardless of whatever the circumstances and what Bill Belichick is trying to do to explain it away, he pulled him after 3 series and throwing an interception. So we know he has a short leash. Bailey Zapp has been a little bit more exciting within that offense lately and has proven to at least be a little bit of lightning in a bottle for them. And then unjustly so, their center, David Andrews, he's down. He catches an injury via concussion due to a dirty hit by, and I don't remember who it was on the Bears, but it was late. It was after the whistle. The head coach said there was no excuses for it. Bill Belichick pretty much nodded in agreement. Absolutely terrible for them. Kyle Duggar is now dealing with an issue, one of their better safeties. And so the only player that I can really legitimately say that I kind of have some concerns about on their roster, and I mean in total, is Matthew Judon, who's the NFL's leading sack master right now. So there's nothing that says they are overly better than us in any category. I would strongly argue we're the better team. Quarterback is up, it's wherever. The running back situation, I would say we still are in a better situation. Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris for them have been struggling to run against even some of the teams in the league that have poor run coverage or run stopping ability, however you want to call it. And then the wide receiver core doesn't really scare anybody. Jacoby Myers, I mean, I I could barely name anybody if I really had to for the Patriots. And so why can't we win? Why shouldn't we win? I think the expectation, even though we're going into this week as the underdogs, I think I saw 1.5. Patriots are favored by 1.5 points, I think it is, which essentially could just be a tie. But I guess the sports books didn't want to, give us that favor, which is perfectly fine. But in our minds, and as many players have said it already, we're not underdogs. We're going into this expecting to win. And let alone everything that we just discussed, we do need to start making sure that while we have been excellent road warriors, we can protect our stadium in-house. We need to start securing home wins. And then this also is going to be the point where we start setting a precedent in the AFC East. We can legitimately be that team that's either just behind the Buffalo Bills, or who knows, we'll see what happens when we face them in a few weeks, can legitimately challenge them at the top of the AFC East crown. I mean, currently we're tied with the Bills and the Chiefs record-wise. Granted, the Bills are just coming off a bye week, and so they didn't have another chance to throw what I would expect is a win in that column. But I'm so like hyped and involved in this game right now. I've been doing a crazy amount of research into not only all of the New York Jets Patriots rivalry history, but kind of what's really been going on with the Patriots and stuff lately. Freshly though, freshly diving into all of the information. But I mean, I can honestly say if we take a L this week at home in our stadium against the Patriots, against Mac Jones, I will legitimately be demoralized for a little bit. I would expect that we'll bounce back very soon. I don't even think it'll be crippling to the New York Jets roster. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in terms of how important this New York Jets game against the Patriots will be, not only for the foundation of future success of our team, but just kind of morale and proving that they understand they can be not only one of the better teams in the league, but one of the best teams in our own division. And I will catch you guys again. Peace.